Economic Development Committee. This is our meeting of Monday, April 6th, and hopefully all of you are in the right place. First, I want to thank the members who are here who have participated in the Sunset Review hearings. Thank you for your participation. They went very well a couple of weeks ago, and I think we had some good outcomes from that. We don't have a quorum established yet, and now we do. So, Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Hill.
Here.
Hill here. Bates.
Here.
Bates here. Berryhill. Here. Berryhill here. Block. Galgiani. Hernandez. Jackson. Here. Jackson here. Mendoza. Wachowski. Here. Wachowski here.
And welcome Senator Jackson. Senator White. And Senator Hernandez is here as well. Welcome. Well, the first order of business today will be the adoption of the rules of the committee. They have been updated particularly to reflect the committee's responsibility regarding floor analyses. We do have a quorum today, so do I have a motion to adopt the rules?
So moved.
Thank you, Senator Wachowski. Please call the roll.
Hill.
Aye.
Hill I. Bates.
Aye.
Bates I. Berryhill. Aye. Berryhill I. Block. Galgiani. Hernandez. Aye. Hernandez I. Jackson.
Aye.
Jackson I. Mendoza. Wachowski.
Aye.
Wachowski I.
Very good. The rules are adopted. We have established the quorum, so we could vote on the consent calendar. There are two items. There are three bills on the consent calendar today. Item 2, SB 146, Item 8, SB 590, and Item 9, SCR 25. Is there a motion to the consent calendar? Thank you, Senator Jackson. Please call the roll.
Hill.
Aye.
Hill I. Bates.
Aye.
Bates I. Berryhill. Aye. Berryhill I. Block. Galgiani. Hernandez. Aye. Hernandez I. Jackson.
Aye.
Jackson I. Mendoza. Wachowski.
Aye.
Wachowski I.
I'm sorry, 6-0. Those bills have 6 votes, but we will keep the roll open for the absent members to add on later. We have 2 bills today that have been pulled from the agenda. Item number 4, SB 349, and item number 6, SB 496. So before we begin hearing the first bill, I'd like to take a moment to introduce the vice chair of our committee, Senator Bates. Senator Bates, would you like to make some comments?
It's just great to be back from spring break. We're all, I think, now more energy as we get into the, the committee work. So it's great to be back.
Wonderful. I'm glad one of us feels that way.
Yeah. Well, remember, I'm still a freshman.
Very nice. Thank you, Senator Bates. Now we will move to our first bill. I do see Senator Morell here. Senator Hueso is not here. Senator Morell, if you'd like to present, this would be item number 5, SB 408. Senator Morell. Good afternoon, Senator.
Well, good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. SB 408 simply recognizes the position of a midwife assistant by establishing training procedures and defining the duties they can perform. Current law establishes these parameters for medical assistants. Because the duties performed by an individual assisting a midwife are very specific compared to those of a medical assistant, a different category is necessary. The amendments being adopted today simply clarify and narrows those duties. With me today is Jennifer Simons, representing a sponsor of this bill through the Medical Board of California. Again, thank you, Mr. Chair and members. I respectfully, again, ask for your aye vote, which I'll do again later.
Thank you, Senator Morell. Witnesses in support. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Jennifer Simons with the Medical Board of California. We're the sponsors of this bill, and we'd like to thank Senator Morell for carrying this important consumer protection measure. It's been brought to the board's attention that licensed midwives need to use and are currently using midwife assistants. However, existing law does not provide a regulatory framework for midwife assistants or set parameters on what services they can provide. This unregulated practice is a serious consumer protection issue. Putting training requirements in statute and parameters on what services can be provided by midwife assistants will help to protect consumers in California, and the board respectfully requests your aye vote. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. Other witnesses in support? Please come forward. Good afternoon, welcome.
Afternoon. Sarah Davis with the California Association of Midwives. The California Association of Midwives supports SB 408 as a simple, effective means for California licensed midwives to safely meet the increasing consumer demand for out-of-hospital midwifery services.
Very good, thank you. Other witnesses in support today? Please forward, thank you. Welcome. Are there other witnesses who will be testifying? If you are, please come forward now and you'll be able to speak right away.
Tricia Hunter on behalf of the American Nurses Association, California, and we support the bill.
Great, thank you very much. Other witnesses in support today?
Teresa McLean, California Families for Access to Midwives, and I'd like the group to know that California families support this bill wholeheartedly, so the consumers of California also support.
Very good, thank you. Others in support? Seeing no one else, any witnesses in opposition to the bill? Please come forward. Seeing no opposition, questions of the committee? Seeing no questions, very good. Senator, would you like to close?
Yeah, I just respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Very good, thank you, Senator. We have a motion by Senator Berryhill. Please call the roll.
Hill?
Aye.
Hill, aye. Bates? Bates, aye. Berryhill? Berryhill, aye. Block? Block, aye. Galgiani? Hernandez? Hernandez, aye. Jackson? Mendoza? Wachowski? Wachowski, aye.
6-0. That motion, that bill will be out, but it has 6 votes. We'll hold the roll open for absent members. Thank you very much, Senator Morell. And that was due past 2 appropriations.
Okay.
Thank you. We have Senator Bates. Would you like to present item number 7, SB 531? Senator Mendoza, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Senate Bill 531 streamlines the process by which the Board of Behavioral Sciences may deny a petition without a hearing and outlines the criteria to do so. In addition, the bill would clarify in the Business and Professions Code that the board has jurisdiction to take disciplinary action against a mental health professional even if the status of a license or registration changes or expires, which they are currently not able to do. In the past several years, the board's licensing population has steadily increased. At the same time, the board's enforcement unit is receiving an increasing number of requests to petition for early termination of probation or modification of penalty. However, for an increasing number of these cases, the petitioner is not in compliance with his or her probation terms. Processing these requests and bringing them to a hearing employs the valuable time and certainly the resources of staff, attorneys, and board members, even though the petitioner's request will ultimately be denied due to noncompliance. As to the second portion of the bill, the board has encountered several issues because of the loopholes in the law. Currently, the B&P Code has allowed for mental health professionals with expired registrations to be discontinued from a disciplinary hearing simply because their registration number has expired. This occurred because in order to renew the registration, the registrants would have to receive a new number, and the law does not currently allow for a disciplinary case to continue without the same number. As such, I'm proposing that we amend the code to allow for the board to continue the disciplinary case regardless if the license or registration status of a mental health professional has changed or expired, ensuring the accountability of all licensees and registrants. I have with me this morning, or this afternoon, Kim Madsen, Executive Officer, and Roseanne Helms, the Legislative Analyst with the Board of Behavioral Sciences, to provide support and certainly technical details as to the contents of the bill and any questions that you might have.
Very good. Thank you, Senator. Do you have a prepared statement or comment?
I'm Kim Madsen. I'm the Executive Officer for the Board of Behavioral Sciences, and I would just like to extend, on behalf of the board, our thanks to Senator Bates for authoring this piece of consumer protection legislation.
Very good. Thank you. Witnesses in support of the legislation? Seeing no one. Witnesses in opposition? Very nice. We have a motion from Senator Block. Senator Bates, would you like to close?
SB 531 will streamline and clarify the process regarding hearings with the Board of Behavioral Sciences in order to save time and expenses for all parties, and clarifications would affect just a small population of licensees and registrants. So I would ask for your aye vote.
Good, thank you. Senator Jackson, did you have a comment?
My understanding is that the only issue for me, putting on my lawyer hat, would be the due process question. And my understanding is that this would not in any way impact the right of a therapist to due process, so that they will be able to appeal. It's just that this doesn't allow them to use that as an opportunity to continue practicing, sort of to take advantage of any potential delays. Is that we can?
You're correct, Senator Jackson, that due process rights are not going to be violated. They're explained up front what their probation terms are after they have already agreed to those terms, so that it's very clear what they need to do to comply with probation. So what we are finding in our situations is sometimes there's some minor violations for perhaps omitting a payment or failure to submit a quarterly report. So under those circumstances, they're technically not compliant with the law.
Yes,
Thank
Senator Wojciechowski.
And it doesn't deny an applicant the opportunity to petition for early termination of probation. It just doesn't mean that they automatically get a hearing if they do that, if circumstances dictate.
That's correct. Once they're in compliance, they can come back and petition.
All right.
Very good. Thank you, Senator Wojciechowski. We do have a motion from Senator Block. Seeing no further questions, please call the roll.
Motion is due pass, and we refer to appropriations. Hill?
Aye.
Hill, aye. Bates?
Aye.
Bates, aye. Berryhill? Berryhill, aye. Block? Block, aye. Galgiani? Hernandez? Hernandez, aye. Jackson? Jackson, aye. Mendoza? Mendoza, aye. Wojciechowski? Wojciechowski, aye.
Very good. That bill has 8 votes, but we'll hold the roll open for the absent members. Thank you very much, Senator Bates. I see Senator Waso is here. We'll move to item number 3, SB 189. Senator Waso, welcome. Good afternoon.
Thank you.
I know.
Afternoon, I believe.
It is.
Good afternoon, Senators. Pleasure to be here. Today we're here to present SB 189. This is a bill that would create the Committee on Maximizing Jobs and Economic Growth in the state of California. This committee will consist of experts in the fields of economics, finance, and policy, which will advise state agencies tasked with implementing greenhouse gas emission reduction programs and energy efficiency policies. The goal of this committee is to ensure that there's a focus on job creation, and as California works to make our environment healthier and also to procure energy for our constituents. Research shows that clean energy and climate change policies also have a major economic component. We have seen job growth, massive job growth in this area in the state of California. In fact, California is leading the nation in job growth currently, and it's mostly because of our clean energy policies. California is the location of over 40,000 businesses serving in our advanced energy markets. We're also a leader in the world. There are other states in the nation that are following California's leadership. We see Texas starting to make more investments in clean energy because they see it as an opportunity to create competition in the market and also to create jobs. California was #1 in total advanced energy investment and #1 in electric vehicle sales in all the nation. And it is also important to continue this job creation trend and capitalize on the economic potential with the help of experts in the field. we are all great at what we do as legislators, but we really need the assistance of experts in the field, people who just focus in their area of expertise to help provide advice to the governor and to the legislature on those policies that will help job creation. The Committee on Maximizing Jobs and Economic Growth will create jobs and grow the economy. And for that, I've asked Reed Addis, representing the local conservation corps in Audubon Society, and Scott Wetch, representing the United Steelworkers and the California State Association of Electrical Workers, the California State Pipe Trades Council, and the Western States Council of Sheet Metal Workers, to share a few comments, as well as Danielle Lynch, representing Bloom Energy.
Okay, thank you, Senator Hueso. Mr. Wedge.
Mr. Chairman and members, I'm Scott Wetch on behalf of the California Coalition of Utility Employees, the California State Pipe Trades Council, State Association of Electrical Workers, and the Western States Council of Sheet Metal Workers, and this California State Pipe Trades Council. We think that this piece of legislation is one of the key core components to the Senate's overall clean energy package for a number of reasons. When we supported AB 32 and AB 32 was adopted, during the scoping plan process, the Air Resources Board was charged with doing the economic analysis. They used one methodology that produced one set of projections, and then went out and redid it with a different methodology that came up with a very drastically different. And what we felt was missing was the expertise of independent practitioners actually preparing that, rather than the CARB board members. Because what you're talking about here just isn't the job creation. We believe that the Senate package is going to create north of 400,000 jobs in California. It's not just identifying the job creation and what we can train for, but also identifying where the displacement will happen. Because when you move to a greater percentage, when you extend AB 32 and when you increase the RPS, there will be some displacement in heavy emitting industries. So you want to be able to identify that workforce so then you can train them to move into the new jobs. This commission is perfectly positioned to do that. So we think it's an absolute vital portion of the package and would urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Wedge.
Hi, Danielle Lynch on behalf of the California Association of Local Conservation Corps and Audubon, California, in support of this legislation that will create jobs in California and increase economic growth.
Thank you, Mr. Addis.
Thank you, Chair and members. Reed Addis on behalf of Bloom Energy in strong support today. We're a California-based company. Many of the state policies have allowed us to grow here in California. We think legislation like this one will help us to continue growing. Thank you.
What district is Bloom Energy in?
We're all over the state of California.
Headquarters, I should say. Good, thank you, Mr. Addis. Phillips, good afternoon. Witnesses in support.
Catherine Phillips with Sierra Club, California. We'd like to see this bill continue moving, so we support.
Thank you very much.
Justin Fanza on behalf of Thompson Power, Inc. Sorry that we don't have our letter in. It was just retained by the client. It's a brand-new company in the field of passenger transportation and emerging technologies in your district, Mr. Chair. Looking forward to working on this and seeing their company grow with these kinds of policies in California. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Other witnesses in support?
Thank you, Charles Watson, on behalf of Adagen Incorporated and CalStart, in very strong support of this bill. Thank you.
Good, thank you very much. Other witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Seeing no one, bringing it back. Any questions of the or comments from? Yes, Senator Block.
First of all, I support the bill. I think it's a great move in the right direction. Question just about the membership of this committee. I noticed that one member is appointed by the Speaker of the Assembly. One member is appointed by Senate rules. I'm sure there's a good reason for this, but just as a curiosity, why not parallel members from each house being appointed either by the leader or by the Rules Committee? Why is it different in each house?
I think that we modeled it after appointments to other commissions, just such as like the Coastal Commission does the exact same thing, where you have the Speaker appoints and the Rules Committee appoints on the Senate. It's just the way that.
So the pro tem is good with this, that the Rules Committee is appointing instead of him appointing?
We're keeping it consistent with the way that every single.
Okay, good.
Thank you, Senator Block. Any questions? Yes, Senator Berryhill.
I got one. It's, listen, this bill is not a bad bill. I just had some concerns with it. I think that as mentioned, we've studied some of this stuff. We've studied the ARB, we've studied a scoping deal on the AB 32 in the past. I'm not sure it's needed. In this study, does it also study what, if we take on this technology, what jobs will be lost? I mean, is that taken into consideration also, or no?
If you were, I think Scott Wedge touched on that on the displacement issue. If there's any displacement that results from the transition, that's something that we currently don't study in the state of California. It's something that we don't account for. This will at least allow us to make educated decisions about what jobs are being created and what jobs are being displaced. I think that's very important information. If California is going to move on a path to energy independence, we need to know what that means in terms of benefit to the economy, benefit to job growth. We currently don't have that function being performed by anybody in the state, not by the public or private sector at all, and this is a combination of both.
Yeah, I just, as over the years, I mean, we've all been here when AB 32 and bills like that have been passed, and it's all about green jobs and new green jobs. I'm always interested, we never talk about what jobs are lost and where that balance is. And so I'd like you to take that into consideration, certainly, if this bill moves forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one thing that is not talked about enough is California's energy independence. Because the more that we're producing electricity within our state, is the less that we have to import energy from outside our state and other parts of the world. And an important economic development tenet to note is that the more job activity you can generate within, whether it's within your city or within your county or within your state, that's the more money that you recycle for economic growth. It's almost like, getting a bank loan using other people's money to grow your business. We can use our own money in the state of California if, in fact, we are shopping at our neighborhood businesses and not using, buying resources from outside the state. I'm very interested in that issue. Last year, I chaired the Select Committee on Achieving California's Energy Independence. We did a lot of research into that because one of my areas of interest in public policy is economic development. And I think this committee is going to be very important at establishing that measuring tool, right? What is lost? What is gained? How much money of our ratepayer money stays in the state of California to procure our energy needs? That money, as long as it stays here, we're growing jobs. I visited Puerto Rico, and they all of their energy, 97% of all their energy is powered by oil. But when a barrel of oil goes up $10, $600 million leaves their economy forever, never to return. Think about how many jobs $600 million in a year represents. And that's something that we're not measuring in California. With every barrel of oil that we import, with every gallon of, or with every unit of natural gas that we consume that comes from out of state, how many jobs are we exporting to other markets? I think we need to get our hands around this issue to really start making an impact, growing jobs in California, and making California energy independent.
I won't disagree with you at all. I think that the more we can do of that, the better. Again, my concern is as we achieve independence is who pays for it, because renewable energy is expensive. And whenever we pass these types of laws or new laws, this is study laws, I understand it, correct? When we pass the AB 32s, when we pass certain laws so many times, those who actually pays for that is our working families that are the least that can afford it. And so I think that we need to keep our eye on that ball and try to balance this as we move forward. But I want to thank you for your efforts. And
thank you, Senator.
Other questions? We have a motion by Senator Hernandez. Would you like to close, Senator Wichita?
Simply, I think I close with my last comments and simply ask very respectfully for your support for this bill today.
Thank you, Senator Way. So we have a motion from Senator Hernandez. This is a due pass to Environmental Quality Committee. Okay, thank you. Please call the roll.
Hill?
Aye.
Hill, aye. Bates?
Abstain.
Berryhill?
No.
Berryhill, no. Block?
Aye.
Block, aye. Galgiani? Aye. Galgiani, aye. Hernandez?
Aye.
Hernandez, aye. Jackson?
Aye.
Jackson, aye. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mendoza, aye. Wadkowski?
Aye.
Wadkowski, aye. 7-1.
That bill has 7 votes, 7-1. We'll hold the, no, we won't hold the roll. We do have a full contingent. So
Sorry,
that bill
it's 8.
passes, and the roll is closed. Thank you very much. We move now to item number 1, SB 119 by Hill. I'll pass the gavel to Senator Bates.